Yeah, buddy, I'm hotter than fish grease right now. I'm pretty sure we all feel the exact same way right now. Hotter than fish grease. It was not a good day today. Not what was promised. Nah. But the one and only, the beautiful Candace Owens just broke the internet with this tweet right here. And I'm pretty sure we all feel the same way. She tweets something about this Epstein release doesn't feel authentic. Why do we need phases of the release? Why not just release it to the entire public at large to comb through? And Candace Owens is right, she's exposed a lot of corruption, went through a lot of scandals, and she's done an amazing job on her investigations. I think she ought to be on these files. I'm just saying. But look at this. I'm finna punch a hole through my screen. What is this? What is this? We don't need this right now. Let's jump into the video.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
This is a Fox News alert. The Epstein files have been released. Fox News senior national correspondent Kevin Corke has been pouring through all the documents. Kevin, what can you tell us?
Evening, Laura. I don't want to oversell this because I don't think there's a whole lot to sell, at least so far. We'll probably
shut it all down. I'm pissed off just like y'all. I see the comments. People say this has not been a great day for the Trump administration. Something's fishy. Shut it all down. The swamp was alive today. The swamp was alive today. Something's fishy. I'm hotter than fish grease too, y'all. I'm hotter than fish grease. And who idea was it to let content creators, conservatives, whoever they were, we got conservative news creators, content creators holding up binders. Who idea was that? Something is fishy. I'm going to give it till tomorrow at 8 a.m.
learn a lot more tomorrow morning by that 8 a.m. deadline that the AG has given the FBI in New York to turn over everything in their possession. But let me
look, y'all know, man, full transparency. And y'all know how we say it on the channel. Put your hands behind your back. Release everything. Everything. And there's a lot of things that need to be released. And you know what they are. Release everything. And the members of Congress, everybody needs a full audit. Everybody. People need to be walked out with their hands behind their back. Shut the FBI down. Shut this down. There needs to be full-blown investigations of what took place. Because today was not it.
back up for just a second. The Attorney General, you recall last night, called it breaking news. She promised that we would get the Epstein files today, and while that turned out technically to be true, what we've seen so far, critics have argued tonight, really hasn't lived up to the dramatic billing. Now, we began the day with somewhat high expectation, having seen some influencers with so-called Epstein file folders.
Who idea was that? I'm sorry, I have to call it. I got to keep it real. Who idea was that? We're not playing games. And I didn't seen enough binders, especially these last 4 years. I'm just saying. I didn't seen enough binders. Enough these past 4 years. Let's stop playing games now. Come on, Pam. It's about the trust. Can we trust this administration? I will hold y'all accountable. I will hold y'all accountable.
But that began to fizzle just a bit because we really didn't get a lot of new information. So once we saw that, we wondered, what about the Attorney General's? Was she holding back? Well, she actually wrote a letter, Laura, to the FBI director, Kash Patel, suggesting that the FBI's New York office, which collected material from the SDNY, that's the Southern District of New York, it seemed to be, for lack of a better description, stonewalling, holding back key materials. Now, the FBI director, obviously concerned about this, went on X, and Director Patel wrote a fairly lengthy post in it. He said there'll be no cover-ups and no missing documents and no stone left unturned. And anyone from the prior or current Bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. He went on to say if there are gaps, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them, and we will bring everything we find to the DOJ to be fully assessed and transparently disseminated to the American people as it should be. So you may be wondering, okay, after all that, Kevin, what do we have? Well, so far we do have 7 flight logs. We have an Epstein contact book. We have a masseuse list, which strangely was redacted. Now, I should add this as well, Laura. Many of the names that we saw on the flight logs, at least so far, mirrored some of the names that we've seen before. There was obviously a criminal action that involved Ghislaine Maxwell. Some of the names on that flight log list, we've already seen those before. But what was interesting so far tonight, and I'm still going through it, we did see a few names in that contact book I told you about. Among them, Michael Bloomberg, Alec Baldwin, and former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair. Again, we're still going through it. As I get more information, I promise to pass it along, but that's what I have so far.
All right, Kevin, always great to see you.
Last night on Jesse Waters Primetime, Attorney General Pam Bondi said this.
What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is...
Now that I look back at it, I'm looking Pam in her eyes. Wait a second, family. Look, I'm just saying. She said, hopefully tomorrow. She didn't say it with confidence. The body language was off. I'm hotter than fish grease, just like y'all. I'm ready for everything to be out. I'm ready for handcuffs. I'm ready for people to be walked out with their hands behind their back. I'm ready for it to all come out. Expose all the corruption. Got conservative content creators walking around with binders. We're not playing anymore. We're cleaning house. We're draining the swamp. Come on now. Come on, Pam. Cash, I believe. 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning.
A lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
So we were looking today to find out more about why the government's been so suspiciously protective of Jeffrey Epstein. This afternoon, a bunch of conservative influencers left a meeting at the White House with binders that said the Epstein files, phase 1. Once the binders were opened, people were able to see flight records and Epstein's Rolodex and a list of masseuses. The masseuses' names were blacked out, and the information from the flight logs wasn't new. Neither was the Rolodex.
No, I kind of get why they, I know I was like, who idea was this? Was it a bad? It's a lot of y'all were saying it's a bad idea, but in a way, I kind of get why they did this. In a way, and if I explained it, it might be 20, 30 minutes, but let's continue.
When we began to feel duped, Pam Bondi released a letter that says, basically, I was duped too. In the letter addressed to FBI Director Kash Patel, Bondi basically says, I asked you for the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. I received 200 pages of documents. I asked if these were all the documents, and the FBI said yes. Late yesterday, I learned from a source at the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and the indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the evidence of these files. Bondi's demanding by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning that the FBI deliver everything to her office, including all records, audio, video recordings, all materials related to Epstein. And she ensures DOJ will disclose everything. And she's directing Patel to begin an immediate investigation into why the FBI isn't following orders. So who's in charge?
I got to understand these FBI agents too, man. You know, right now they're putting everything on the line. They have, you know, a livelihood, families, pensions, all kind of stuff, you know. So again, y'all, this is why I say it. Hey, we got to do what we got to do. I'm just being real. We have to do what we got to do. If you know, you know. And y'all know.
At the New York FBI field office, who's withholding Epstein docs from the Attorney General. James Dennehy is running the show there. There he is. This is the guy who emailed his whole staff to dig in after Trump took office. And don't forget that James Comey's daughter is an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York.
So basically, they're putting everything, you know, they're risking everything to, and again, just a full-blown investigation. Yeah, shut it down. Maybe you have to walk somebody out. Just saying. But today was a letdown. And it's not me, y'all saying this. I'm repeating what y'all saying. Today was a letdown.
She worked on the Epstein and Maxwell cases. She's kind of knee deep in this. Epstein was facing sex trafficking charges in Lower Manhattan. Where's all that paperwork? The FBI seized computers, surveillance videos, banking records,
fishy.
file cabinets, and photographs from all of Epstein's properties in New Mexico, the Virgin Islands, Palm Beach, and in New York. The Justice Department also gave Epstein a sweetheart non-prosecution deal 17 years ago. Where are those files? The Bureau of Prisons. Where are those files? You remember where Epstein killed himself? I asked Bill Barr about that, why everything seemed to go.
Oh, did he? Oh, did he? Oh, did he? Did he really?
Wrong that night.
When I first heard all the information and all the coincidences here, I was suspicious.
What were the coincidences? I mean, those were a lot of coincidences.
Well, one of the cameras was out.
Right.
He was supposed to have a cellmate. The cellmate left. They didn't replace the cellmate. And the guards who were supposed to check him every half hour didn't check him.
My EMT source said he was on the scene immediately to pull Epstein's body out to the morgue. And when he got to the cell, he saw 7 people there touching Epstein's body and moving stuff around. Trump did say during the campaign he'd release these files, so it's not like this came out of the blue. Jeffrey Epstein did act as an informant to the FBI. Is the Bureau embarrassed? Is the Bureau embarrassed that they let hundreds of young victims down? This was all happening right under everyone's noses. Epstein was probably an intelligence asset, rumored to be working with the Israelis, maybe this country, probably other countries. Was he a double agent? He had dirt on everyone and a knack for making cash. And he's dead. So the government has no one to protect but themselves.
But boy, oh boy, look who just broke the internet with one simple tweet. And they ought to put it, I'm telling y'all, when it comes to investigations, going through files, covering exposing the corruption, this is the lady right here, the beautiful Candace Owens. She broke the internet with this tweet. Something about this Epstein release doesn't feel authentic. Why do we need phases of the release? Why not just release it to the entire public at large to comb through? Simple. Something is fishy, they're saying. He says nothing makes any sense right now. We want the whole truth and nothing but the truth, you know. And a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people are not feeling this. They're calling it a photo op. Again, you know, photo op, holding binders of the phase. In my opinion, I agree. I'm not really a big, you know, how America wanted the files to be released. Yeah. That's exactly how we want it released. Exactly. You know. He says, can we just give Candace Owens and Laura Loomer the Epstein files? I know they're not going to let anything slip past them. The Epstein file released today was a slap in the face to the American people. Look what people are saying. Look. You know. Is anyone tired of being jerked around with the Epstein list? Because I've had enough. Get it together and release a list to the people. Fire and prosecute anyone who gets in the way.
Look, everybody has a bad day. I get it. But let's be completely honest. That was a complete and total disaster. And that's not what we voted for. Get it together. I did not vote for my attorney general to be played by the Southern District of New York.
Yeah.
I didn't vote for that. Clear it up. Arrest those people who defied orders and who are hiding information from the American people, and release the damn list.
How would y'all? I've been saying the same thing, man. You know. And now they're coming for Pam Bondi. It's not looking too good right now. No. Not looking too good. I did not like the photo binder op with the conservative content creators. You know, we're playing around right now. Oh, here's the letter. I done read it like 100 times, so I'm not gonna read it again. But, hey, we got to get this together. 8 a.m. I don't like this. I'm sorry, y'all. I get why they did it in a way, but I don't like it. Sorry. Not sorry. You know. But let me know what y'all think, man. We're gonna stay up to date, especially tomorrow morning. But I love you guys. You know, again, we know what we voted for, man. Full transparency. You know, and we with this administration, it's very important to keep the people's trust, to earn the people's trust. We are in a very important time, and Trump knows that. And these things were promised. Promises made, promises kept. Again, let down today. Hotter than fish grease. You know, we're not playing anymore. I told y'all, I'm going to hold them accountable. Everybody's going to be held accountable. Love y'all. God bless you all and your families. I'll catch you beautiful people in the next one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the family. We keep it real. We spread love. We bring the best updates every single day. I'm not in the studio right now. I'm out the country, and we still working hard, man. So sorry if the mic isn't my regular mic. I'm still working with the settings and the lighting. So I do want to apologize in advance, you guys, but we working hard, man. Internet is not the best. It is good, but not the best. So we're working hard every single day, y'all. Covering this. So we'll see what takes place in the morning. I love y'all. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, family.